Hello, my name is Bill, and today I'm going to tell you the story of my good friend Lucas. Lucas lives in a quiet neighborhood, but something very strange happened there. A bike disappeared from a garden. Now, Lucas is a curious guy, always ready to help his neighbors. So, when he heard about the missing bike, he decided to investigate the mystery. Throughout this story, you'll learn English along with Lucas, using simple and useful phrases that you can use in your daily life. This is a fun way to improve your English skills while following a mystery. Make sure to pay close attention because we will practice a lot of new vocabulary. And don't forget, turn on the subtitles and repeat the phrases after me to improve your pronunciation. Ready? Let's go. Now, let's jump into the story. It starts on a sunny morning in Lucas's neighborhood. Lucas spent the next few days obsessively going through the papers. Every night, he would sit at his desk, studying the map and trying to decode the letters SG. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something important here, something he needed to understand. The map seemed to trace a path through the city, pointing toward an old warehouse near the docks. There were notes scribbled in the margins of the map, but they were written in a combination of languages Lucas couldn't understand. Still, he felt drawn to the location. The docks were an eerie place, long abandoned after the factories had closed down. Could this be a clue to something bigger? Lucas thought as he stared at the map. Something about the place seemed familiar, but he couldn't put his finger on it. As he continued to study the documents, he began to see patterns emerge. The more he deciphered, the more he realized that these were not just random notes. They were part of something much larger, and the key to understanding it was hidden within the city itself. Lucas's curiosity grew stronger. It felt like he was standing on the edge of something life-changing, and there was no turning back. On a foggy Thursday afternoon, Lucas decided to follow the map. He left his apartment and made his way toward the old docks. The city was quiet that day, the streets empty except for a few people hurrying home. As he walked, Lucas couldn't shake the feeling that someone was following him. Every turn he made, he glanced over his shoulder, but no one was there. The docks looked even more deserted than he remembered. Broken wooden planks lined the path, and the old warehouse loomed in the distance, its windows dark and lifeless. Lucas felt a chill run down his spine. The place had a strange, eerie feeling, as if it were hiding something dangerous. He pulled out the map and examined it again. There, near the entrance of the warehouse, was a small marking, an X that matched the one on the map. Lucas couldn't explain why, but he felt that this was where he needed to be. Just as he took a step forward, a voice behind him startled him. "Are you lost?" a man asked. Lucas turned around quickly, but no one was there. He scanned the area, but the docks were empty. Shaking off the unease, Lucas moved closer to the entrance. The old building seemed to have been abandoned for decades. His heart raced as he approached the entrance and gently pushed the door open. Lucas entered the warehouse cautiously. The air was thick with dust, and the smell of rot lingered. The dim light from the street outside barely illuminated the vast space. Old crates and barrels were stacked in the corners, covered in a thick layer of dust. It felt like time had stood still in this place. He took a few steps deeper into the building, his footsteps echoing through the empty space. Suddenly, his eyes caught a glimmer of something in the far corner of the room. As he approached, he saw a small, locked chest hidden behind a stack of crates. His heart pounded in his chest as he knelt down to inspect it. The chest was old, with intricate carvings on its surface. The lock was rusted, but still sturdy. There were no obvious markings on the chest, except for one, an engraving of the letters SG. Lucas's mind raced. The chest seemed to be the key to unlocking the mystery, but he had no idea how to open it. He stood there for a moment, unsure of what to do next. Then he remembered something from his uncle's notes, an old key that had been hidden in a drawer. Could this be the key to the chest? Lucas hurried back to his apartment and searched through his uncle's belongings. He found the old key in the drawer, just as he had remembered. The key was tarnished with age, but it fit perfectly in the lock. With trembling hands, Lucas returned to the warehouse. The chest awaited him, and he was certain that whatever it contained would change everything. He inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The chest creaked open, revealing a bundle of old papers and photographs. The first photo Lucas saw was of his uncle, smiling in front of a large building that looked strangely familiar. The papers contained detailed records of transactions, cryptic symbols, and a series of addresses, each one leading to a different part of the city. At the bottom of the chest, hidden beneath the papers, was another map, this time much more detailed than the first. It appeared to trace a path through the city's underground, leading to a location marked with a large red X. Lucas spent the next few days researching the locations listed on the map. Each one seemed to correspond with a place in the city that was either abandoned or hidden from public view. Some were old, disused buildings, while others were underground tunnels long forgotten. He couldn't help but wonder what his uncle had been involved in. The idea that his uncle had known about this secret world, a hidden network beneath the city, felt surreal. But as Lucas traced the map with his finger, he realized that he was getting closer to the truth. Something important had been hidden for years, and he was determined to uncover it. One night, Lucas decided to follow the path marked on the map. He made his way to an old train station that had been closed for decades. The station was dark, the only sound coming from the echo of his footsteps. As he stepped into the shadows of the abandoned platform, he knew he was getting closer. The clues were adding up, and he could almost feel the truth just out of reach. Lucas stood at the edge of the train tracks, his heart pounding. He had reached the final destination on the map, the place his uncle had been leading him to all along. The air was thick with tension, and the silence of the station was deafening. As he walked down the platform, Lucas spotted a metal door half hidden in the shadows. He approached cautiously, the sound of his footsteps echoing through the empty station. His hand trembled as he reached for the door handle. The door creaked open, revealing a small, dimly lit room. Inside, there was a desk covered in papers, some of which were nearly identical to the ones Lucas had found in his uncle's office. It was all coming together now. The documents, the maps, the letters, everything pointed to this place. But what was the truth behind all of it? And why had his uncle gone to such lengths to hide it? Lucas knew that he was standing on the brink of something monumental. As he stood there, staring at the desk full of documents, he realized that the answers he had been searching for were within his grasp. But he also knew that uncovering the truth would come at a cost. He could feel the weight of his decision pressing down on him. Was he ready to confront Whatever dark secrets lay hidden beneath the city? The thought of what he might find terrified him, but he also knew that he couldn't stop now. The fog outside the station thickened as Lucas made his final decision. He would uncover the truth, no matter the cost. And with that, he walked further into the dark room, determined to face whatever lay ahead. Well, what a journey that was! Lucas's search for the truth led him to places he never imagined, uncovering secrets buried deep beneath the city. He made a choice, not just to unravel a mystery, but to confront the unknown, something we all fear at times. But sometimes, it's in those moments of fear and uncertainty that we find our true strength. And what about you? Do you think you could have made the same choice as Lucas? What would you do if you found yourself standing at the edge of such a mystery? Remember, every adventure begins with a single step. And just like Lucas, the more you learn and discover, the closer you get to your own answers. Keep following your curiosity, keep asking questions, and don't be afraid to face the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this journey. I hope this story inspired you not just to keep seeking the truth, but to continue learning, especially when it comes to learning English. Keep practicing, stay curious, and until next time, stay brave. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and keep an eye out for our next adventure. See you soon!